Hello, everybody. Good morning. It is Friday. Happy Friday. And it's Miss Tracy here with Miss Tracy Creates. And I'm excited to be here today for Craft and Chat. Today, I'm going to be sharing some really cute fabric flowers. And it's actually a flower um, that I think anybody could do. Okay. It does require some hand stitching, but it's so pretty. And the gals in my fabric fan club have been asking for this flower, for me to re-show this flower for a while now. So I thought, well, what more perfect day than the Friday before Mother's Day? Maybe some of you want to give handmade fabric flowers this year instead of real flowers. I don't know. So I'm going to be showing you how. Come on in and say hi. Let me know that you're out there watching. Good morning, Kathy. Hello, hello. Yes, I am still in Arkansas. We don't go home until this weekend. And yes, I'm trying to get as much cuddly, snuggly time with my new grandbaby as I can before we have to go back home to Texas. Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Hi, Sue. Hi, Diane. Let's see who else is out there. Good morning, Heather. Hello, Elizabeth and Lynn. Good to see you guys out there. Y'all, I have my our glass doors open. I'm going to close that really quickly just in case it gets a little noisy outside. So I'm going to hop up and do that real quick, okay? Okay, I'll be right back. It is so beautiful here today, and the weather, the air is just cool, and it just feels so good. So I had all the doors and things open, but my husband's been doing some yard work and things, and I don't want it to get too noisy. I want to make sure you guys can hear me, okay? So thank you again for being here for Craft and Chat. We're going to have a good time this morning. I'm going to show you what I'm using today, just fabric, okay? This particular flower that we're going to make is it's perfect for scraps. Okay, it's perfect for your scrap fabrics. It does require a little bit of hand stitching, so I'm going to show that to you today as well. It's not hard. It's something that any of you can do. So the other thing it's going to require is some branches. I'm not at home, so I don't have like all of my crafty supplies with me. But I love creating flowers on just natural sticks and twigs and things that you could just find around your yard, wherever. So these are going to actually be my flower stems. So I just kind of gathered up a few here, have them in this pretty little mason jar, this ball jar. And that's what I'm going to use for my flower stems. Okay. Yeah. Don't you think it'll be cute? Yes, I think it'll be adorable. So, so cute. I am, Diane, I'm going to stay just as long as we possibly can. This is going to be hard for me, you guys, because this is the first grandbaby born in a different state. So my other grandbabies were born near where we live in Texas. And so if I wanted to see them, I just had to drive over and see them or invite them over. So this one's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to leave this one. And I already told him I need a picture every day, maybe every hour. I need lots of pictures. I need FaceTime. I need video. I need all the things. So yeah. Thank you. You love this jar. I love collecting these jars. I love the aqua colored jars. This is an authentic ball jar. I love them. I love them so much. So I think it's going to be perfect for my little bouquet of flowers. Okay. So let's go ahead and walk through what you're going to need to do. I did a little bit of pre-work here. A little bit of pre-work just to make it a little quicker to show you these today. So first things first is we just need some fabric. And if you happen to be in my fabric fan club, you'll notice these are fabrics from our spring fabric bundle, which was called Spring Cottage. So cute. So this is what I'm doing with all of my leftover fabric after our projects. I'm just making flowers. I'm going to make some really pretty flowers out of all the leftover fabric. And then I'll have those to display with the projects that we made. Okay. So here's what happens first. Okay. I'm just going to kind of show you on this scrap piece of fabric. I like making these scallops about 1.5-ish inches. And I'm going to use ish in here because I honestly think these look so much better without a template. They look better without a template. So basically, I'm going to tell you to maybe have about a 3-inch strip. Okay. I'll show you the strips that I have already done here in just a second. This is just to kind of give you an idea of what's happening here. So I'm going to take this 3-inch strip and I'm going to fold it down. Okay. I'm going to fold it down. If you feel the need to press this, you can. I did not. But then I'm going to come in with my friction pen. You guys have probably heard me talk about the friction pen a million times. Friction pens, the ink disappears with heat. So I love it. It's like, to me, it's like a crafter's best friend. So now I'm just coming in and I'm going to make these kind of rather exaggerated big scallops that do not look the same. Okay. They do not have to look the same. I'm going to bring the camera in here. Just one moment. All right, here, let's bring the camera in so that you can see that really well. And I'm just doing it kind of lightly, but just kind of these big, kind of like rounded mountains, right? It's not a perfect scallop, okay? It's just going to look something like that, all right? Very, very easy. So here's my fold. My fold is up here. So the mountains, right, the tip tops of your natural scallops here are going to be up here at the fold. This is the cut edge is down here, okay? Not that it really matters because we're going to cut this anyway, but I just like to make mine in this way. So essentially from here to here, okay, let me just kind of make an arrow here. From here to here, all right? See if I can make it a little darker. Is roughly 1.5 inches ish. Okay. 1.5 inches ish. They do not all have to be exact. Okay. They do not all have to be exact. So let me show you what I've done on this one. Okay. I'm going to finish this one out with you. You can see there's my lines, right? And do you see how I've gone in and I've been stitching these? So it's just a different color. So I am stitching with a double thread and I'll show you, I'll be showing you how I actually needle my thread, and we're going to still be doing a little more stitching. But now that I have my lines, okay, I think you can all see that okay. I'm just coming in and I'm just doing what a lot of us call a running stitch. I'm just skipping a space. Just basically little dashes. And you guys, for me, any type of stitching that I do, I really consider it what I call freestyle. And freestyle just means it's stress-free, no rules. It's just basically like doodling with thread. So I'm kind of doodling these dashes, keep them somewhat close together. They don't have to be, right on top of each other. But I'm skipping a little bit of space and just coming up and down, up and down. All right, super easy. And I'm just following my traced line. Okay, just following my traced line. I am stitching with a double thread, and I'll show you what that means here in just a second. I'm hoping I have enough thread on my needle here to finish out this scallop. But this is what I've done to all of my hand-drawn, natural, rounded, I'm calling them scallops. You could call them rounded mountains, whatever you want to call them. Just hand-drawn, okay? Just hand-drawn. That's how they look best. These flowers look best. I think a lot of flowers really look best when they're not perfectly exact. They look more organic. And I really like that look. So I'm just going up and down, skipping a little space in between. Up and down, up and down. Almost done with this. And then I'm just going to tie it off. Try not to pull it too tight. We don't want it to pucker too much. It's okay if it puckers a little. All right, and now I'm to the end. So when I get to the end, just go in. Don't worry about this bottom part. I'm just going to kind of go under the fabric a little bit here. And I'm going to have a loop. I'm going to take my needle back through the loop, and that creates a knot. So now we'll cut that off. Okay, so I just want you to look closely. Do you see? Just skip a space as you go. Now, some of you have sewing machines, and if you have a sewing machine and you want to do this on a sewing machine rather than hand stitching it, it's totally fine. Just follow your trace line. Okay, just follow your traced line. It does not have to have a gap in between it. I just did that because I wanted it to look okay on the front and on the back. All right, so super easy to do that part. Now, once you've done that, I'm going to come in and start cutting. So I'm just cutting, and I'm cutting with a little bit of a border outside of my thread. Okay, so we want to be sure that we don't accidentally cut the thread. All right, so just going around. It's nice to have a little detail pair of scissors for this kind of detail cutting. So we're just going to have a little border going around our mountain type scallops. If you just signed on, hello, good morning. I'm so happy that you're here. We just got started. And yes, the replay will be available. This is, I'm streaming right now onto my Facebook page, Miss Tracy Creates, and also onto my YouTube channel, which is also Miss Tracy Creates. So yes, you will have access. You can watch it again and again, because some of you are watching now. You may want to watch it again when you actually pull your supplies together to make some of these yourself. I love making these. All right. And of course, you can use all kinds of fabric. You could use felt if you want to. But in the end, this is what it's going to look like. Okay. This is the open end down here, right? This looks like little stitched petals. Super easy to do. You guys can definitely do this. Okay. Any questions at this point? How long is it? Oh yeah, I was going to tell you the links. Okay, so let me pull these back up here, and I'll show you because I have a few done here because they don't actually have to all be the same length. So let me switch my camera again. Okay, so these are the links that I am using right now. This one right here, you guys, is about 14 inches. Okay, so my scallops are, again, ish. Everything's ish with this, about 1.5-ish in width from, to the tip top of the kind of rounded mountain or scallop. So this is 14. I would say this one is probably maybe 12.5 to 13. This one's really close to this size. So again, it really doesn't matter. The longer the piece is, the more petals you'll have on your flower. Okay? The more petals you'll have on your flower. I hope that makes sense. Yes. So once they're cut, this is what they'll look like, right? So again, same thing, just a little running stitch, right? Just skipped a little space. That way it looks fine on the front. It looks fine on the back. Same thing with this one. Now notice, I mean, it should be very obvious to you. My scallops are not perfect. They're not exactly the same. I literally just quickly hand draw them. And I think it's pretty obvious there. You can see some of them are skinnier, some of them are fatter. Like I said, I like doing them this way because they just have more of an organic look. They just look so more natural. Okay. They just look so much more natural. So the next thing that I'm going to do, all right. So I'd say anywhere from 12 to 14 inches. But again, you want to make a bigger flower. Maybe your fabric doesn't have to be 3 inches. Maybe you want it to be 4 or 5 inches folded over. Maybe you want really big scallops. It's totally up to you. Okay. So this is one of those techniques that you can take way smaller or way bigger. Okay. Just depending on what size of fabric strips, right? What size that you decide to use. Okay. Yes. So they're super, super cute. Okay. So the next thing I want to show you, and I'm going to do this with a different, I kind of still want to use white. I'm going to use white for this just because white kind of just disappears kind of into our, not that you couldn't do, if you wanted to do a contrasting thread, you could, but for this next step, it's going to be where we kind of gather the petals. So we don't necessarily really need to see this thread. So I'm going to use white. White is just always kind of blends into the background. Okay. So I am using our sulky threads. These are my favorite threads to hand stitch with. They are 100% cotton, 12 weight. And I love them because look, you can put them on a sewing machine if you want to, or you can just hand stitch with them. Okay. So I'm going to give you just a few little intro tips here. And I'm going to show you that I pull about the length of my arm. Okay. The length of my arm twice. If you pull more than double the length of your arm, that's what I'm doing. 2 times the length of my arm. If you pull a lot more than that, you're going to have trouble with, knots and just things. Okay. So I think the reach of your arm times 2 is a good amount to pull. All right. To pull off your thread spool. So the next thing I'm going to do, and if you'll kind of watch the screen that's closest on my hands here, is I struggle threading a needle. I do. I love to hand stitch. I love to stitch, but I struggle threading a needle, and I found a way that works best for me. And it's needling my thread. Okay. It's needling my thread. I'm using a number 7 embroidery needle. And if you'll again look at the screen that's closest to my hands, I want you to see that there's the end of the thread. Do you see it right there? There's the end of the thread. I'm going to hold this. I'm going to pinch it really tight right here between my thumb and my pointer finger till I can just see the tip. Just see the tip of the thread. I'm going to take my needle now and I'm going to take it right to the tip of that thread and push it through. That is how I needle my thread. And it's so much easier for me. It may take a little bit of practice for you, but just hold that end of that thread really tight between your thumb and your pointer finger till you can just see the end, just the tiny little tip of the end. And then put your needle, the eye of your needle over it. If you have trouble with one side of your needle, flip it over to the other side. Needles actually have a front and a back. It's just really hard to tell which is the front and which is the back. So if you're ever struggling with one side of your needle, flip it over and try again. And I bet you'll have success. Okay. I want you guys to try that. Now I'm pulling my needle down to the middle of this one piece of thread. So I'm only, just so you can see, I'm only threading the needle once, but because I'm pulling it to the middle of the thread, I'm stitching with 2 pieces of thread. Okay. So now I'm going to need a knot. I pulled it to where it's in the middle. So my tails are here somewhat together. Whoops. Let me get on camera. Somewhat together, just like that. So let me show you how I make my knots. Okay. I'm holding both of the tails here. All right. Again, look at the camera that's closest to my hands. I'm going to take these tails and put them kind of parallel over the needle, and I'm going to grab them with these fingers. Okay. And oops, I dropped it. And I'm going to wrap the center of the needle 3 times. 1, 2, 3 times. Okay. 3 times. Point to the ceiling, pointing to the ceiling here. I'm going to take these 2 fingers and pinch over everything that I just wrapped. Okay, pinching over everything that I just wrapped. And then keep your fingers together. We're going to push the needle up through. Keep your fingers together all the way to the end. And voila, you get a nice little knot. Okay, that's my method. Feel free to watch the replay however many times you need to get that. And also, while I'm putting my gathering stitch, which is just like the running stitch, except we're going to pull it and gather it, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about something new that I just launched this week. So for those of you out there that are maybe interested in learning more about working with fabric and thread, I have an intro to hand stitching, freestyle hand stitching. I have finally developed an intro class. It's going to be a workshop series. There will be 3 different projects that you can actually choose from. You can choose the first project in May is going to be this one. We're going to make this cute little notepad. It's like a sleeve or a cover. Our notepad, whoops, let me get it, just kind of slides in and out of this little sleeve. And we're going to have a pocket here, a little pocket on the inside here. Okay, isn't that cute? So you're going to learn more about working with fabric and thread. So Susan Lyles is here with me today in the comments. She's my team member, and she's going to be posting a link for you. So as you're watching today and you're thinking, I want to learn more about doodling with thread and hand stitching and all of those things. We even have an intro to stitching a fabric kit for you with the project supplies that will not only make that book cover, but 2 others. I'm going to teach the book cover in May. We're teaching a cute little panel in June, and then a house mini in July. So if you click on that link, it'll take you over, give you the information, and then you can see the pictures of all of those projects. Okay. Oh, Lynn, you can find those little tablets, those little notepads, I guess we'll call them. You can find them at office supply stores, Target, Walmart, really anywhere where their office supply section is, probably even at your grocery store in the office supply section. And they're all kind of a standard same size. Okay. All right. Well, let's get back to our flowers here. And then I'll try to answer your questions kind of as we go. Okay. So I'm going to switch my screen again. All right. I want to make sure you guys can see this well. So I'm going to bring the camera down to my hands. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here on the end, and I'm going to go up, just up. I'll have my knot here. Don't worry, we're not really going to see this part. It's the petals we'll be seeing the most of. So what I'm going to do now is this same type of stitch, right? The same type of stitch, just little dashes with a space in between. We call that a running stitch. But this time we're going to do it as a gathering stitch. So watch what I'm going to do here. I've already got my needle, up through here to the knot. Now I'm going to bring in my needle, and I'm going to go up and down and up and down and up, down and up. So I'm gathering. So can you see that? I'm kind of just gathering everything. I'm just gathering onto the needle. Nobody will ever see this stitch, so it doesn't have to be perfect. So once you've gathered some of the fabric onto your needle, then just pull it through. All right, so I'm just going to pull it through. Now you'll see what happens as we start to pull it, it's going to gather, right? You don't have to gather it all right this moment. We'll do that towards the end. So now I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to keep gathering, and I try to get as much onto my needle as I can in one sitting, or stab through, whatever you want to call it, at a time. I try to get as much on my needle at a time as I can. And again, we're just going to pull that through. So do you see they look wonky? It's not going to matter. Okay. It's not going to matter. So let's continue on. Just gathering as much as you can at a time. And then pulling through. And so what's going to happen is eventually we're going to start doing this, right? We're going to start doing this. We're going to start kind of creating, gathering up our petals. Yes. Yeah, in one swoop. I like that. As much as you can get on your needle, that's comfortable to you. And yeah, this is on my cut edge, so it'll start getting a little stringy just because I'm messing with the cut edge of the fabric. We can trim away some of those threads here in a little bit. So I don't want to pull this too tight. We'll kind of go back in and kind of mess with it when we get to the end here. There we go. All right, I'm almost there. So before we knot this off, we are going to kind of play with the gathers, okay? There we go. Okay, so I'm not going to knot it off just yet. I'm going to just kind of come in, start working with my gathers here a little bit. And as I mentioned, you want to make bigger flowers, then you just need to be using a bigger piece of fabric, making your scallops bigger, all of that. It could be wider, could be longer, all of those things, okay? So these are going to be kind of minis. I think they're going to be really cute. All right. So I'm feeling pretty good about this. I like this. Again, don't want to like over gather it. Don't want to gather it real tight. So I'm happy with this. So I'm going to go back into my fabric here. It's going to create a little loop. Oops. So if I caught my flower. So you can kind of see that little loop there. I'm going to bring my needle back up through. Whoops. Now I dropped my needle. I'm going to bring my needle through that loop and just pull it tight. You can do it a couple of times if you want to. It's just making a knot. Back through the loop and making a knot. Okay, so everybody get that part? Yeah, I like about like that. I don't want these to be super tight. Okay, does that make sense? Yes. No worries, Janet. You can watch the replay. It will be available to you. No problem. Okay, so now then I need to do this again. And this next one, I'll do this blue one. I'll do the pink one next. Okay. Freestyle stitches have helped you in so many ways. Oh, that's awesome, Pat. It's helped with your arthritis, shaky hands, mental stress. I think that that is wonderful. And I'm really glad that you mentioned that because it really is therapeutic. It's a great thing to do with your hands. It is extremely, to me, it's very relaxing. It's like one of the really just, I just enjoy it so much. So thank you for sharing that. Yes, thank you for sharing that. So let's see if I can get this one all in this one piece of thread. You do kind of need a little bit longer piece of thread here. So we'll see how I can do it, how I do. And again, just gathering, gathering, gathering. Super easy. If you're using a sewing machine, they do have a there generally is a stitch on there that you can use to gather things as well. But I really enjoy the process of hand stitching. There's just something about it. It's just, like I said, there's something so relaxing, just pulling that needle and thread through the fabric. I also like this style of stitching because we, it's not like cross stitch where you have to count things out. It's very, like I said, it's very doodly. It's a kind of a no rules, stress-free approach. Stitches don't all have to be the same size, things like that. So if you're new to the world of fabric and thread, or even if you're not, maybe you're a quilter, maybe you have tons and tons of fabric that, scraps or things that you just want to learn to do other things with, I would be happy to show you. And so I'm going to encourage you to and invite you to come and join me for my intro to freestyle hand stitching workshop series. And it's totally up to you. You can start with one project or you can sign up for all three. We have a bundle deal for you if you do sign up for the 3 workshops plus the supply kit. And then if you're already in my fabric fan club, don't sign up because we're going to be giving you that. Okay. You're going to be, you get all kinds of special membership perks. And that will be one of them. You're going to have access to watch the workshops. All right. So again, I'm feeling pretty good about this amount, right? I'm thinking that looks pretty good there. So I'm going to come in and knot off the end now, just by going in, making that little loop, catching the loop, and pulling it tight. Okay, so I'm going into the fabric. Before I pull it all the way, I'm going to stick my needle through the little loop that I've made and then pull it off tight. Okay. Yeah, the best deal is the bundle deal for sure, Janet. It's a good deal. Okay, we discount that for you. So, all right. So now we've got this one done. I'm going to go ahead and do this one, and then we're going to do our next step. We're going to actually build the flowers. And as I mentioned at the beginning, I just went out and picked some sticks. These are just sticks, twigs from outside. I think it's fun to use things that are from nature. Of course, you could use floral wire. You could use, I love that stuff that I usually get it from Hobby Lobby it's usually around the floral or the wedding. It's like a raffia covered wire. I love using that too. So, yeah, there's other things that you could use if you don't want to use natural sticks. Like I said, I'm in Arkansas right now because we have a new grandbaby. Yay. And so we've been visiting and spending time and helping and loving on him. And I will be seeing him again this afternoon. I'm so excited. But I don't have all of my craft supplies with me. So in nature sometimes provides. And I found plenty of, we have plenty of nature here. So I found me some cute twigs and sticks, and I just think it's cute, kind of mixing, the natural elements. I will show you how we're going to do the centers of these, Sue, in just a minute. These are really, these are like what I call rag roses. The only difference is this is a stitched rag rose, okay? Meaning that we stitched the scallops. And I think it looks really pretty. So let me gather this last one here. And yeah, then we're going to start putting these on. So yes, I am using a double thread. As far as the outside, drawing them, just in case you came on late, I drew the kind of sort of scallop looking things. They kind of look like rounded mountains. I drew them with my friction pen, and I think that you can see they're different shapes, different sizes. I just hand drew them, no template, because they really look better, again, in my opinion, They really look better when they're organic. They just look more organic when they're not all of the exact same. Okay. So the top, I would say ish on the measurements here. I have a 14-inch piece. I would say anywhere from 14 to 12 inches long. And these are folded fabric that's about 3 inches wide, which makes my scallops roughly 1.5 inches from the top part of the scallop to the bottom. These are smaller. These are going to be really cute little kind of smaller blossoms. Can you make them bigger? Yes, you can. Just need wider fabric, longer piece, right? Wider fabric, longer piece. Can you make them smaller? Yes, you can. It's one of those techniques that you can just take to, you can make tiny flowers. You can make massively big flowers. You can make whatever you want. And that's probably what I'll be doing for this little bouquet. I'm actually using, in the Fabric Fan Club for spring, we had a bundle that I called it Spring Cottage, because it was just such pretty springy colors and fabrics. And so we've already made all of our projects that I had planned out of this bundle. So now with whatever fabric strips I have left, whatever I cut, I'm going to make flowers. And that way I'd finish it off. I don't have any random leftover fabric. And I'll just make myself a pretty spring bouquet. This will be pretty to have out. I think this will be pretty to have out anytime, even into the summer. And also Mother's Day, right? Coming up. Maybe instead of gifting real flowers, you make someone in your life, mothers, grandmothers, aunts, uncles, not uncles, they're not mothers, but anybody that's been kind of a mother figure to you. Maybe you want to make them a flower bouquet that doesn't have to be watered, right? So I'm going to pull this down a little tighter. So again, just kind of play with it. I'm not going to pull it super tight. Yeah, that looks good right there. All right, I'm feeling good about that one. We'll leave this one right about here. So again, just going to knot it off. I'm using a hot glue for this, the next step. So I have my hot glue gun already turned on. And these flowers do not require centers. No, they don't require centers. However, we are going to have to decide on which sticks to use. So I kind of like them when they're kind of turned and bendy. Let's start with this one. And I'll just have these in a jar over here. And I mean, something like this is easy just to snap off, right? These are just from the yard, but you can use whatever you'd like. Okay. All right. So here we go. All right. Let me grab my glue gun here. Oops, I'm twisted up. Hang on. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I have my glue gun and I have it turned on, but I don't have it plugged in. Okay. And I've got my wires all crisscrossed. All right, let me get this plugged in. Okay. Sorry about that. I know, crafter goof up there. Okay, so now my glue gun is turned on. It will be getting hot. I'm going to go ahead and take my heat tool real quick though, because I had not erased my friction pin lines. So I'm just going to kind of go over these. Make sure that's the side I drew on, that is. And my ink lines will just disappear. Okay, that one's good. This one's already good. I don't see any. And this one. Yeah. All right, we'll get rid of those lines. Okay, so while my glue gun's heating up, I'm going to go ahead and show you this part. Okay, let me show you this part. So I kind of like, again, these are what I would call stitched rag roses. They're stitched. You can do them without stitching them, and they get really frayed. And if you like that look and that texture, it's also a pretty look. So what I'm going to do with these though is because I'm making 3 flowers, I have 3 scrap pieces of green felt. Okay, I'm using our wool felt that we carry in the shop. I love it, love it, love it, love creating with it. It's great for stitching. I'll show you, this is one of the little mini panels that we made in the Fabric Fan Club. And so my rain boot here is felt and then has big fabric polka dots on it. We just finished these up last night. Showed how to finish them up. They turned out so cute. Isn't that cute? Look at the little butterflies here. So super cuteness. We've been having a lot of fun in there. So wool felt is definitely by far, I don't mind using craft felt when it's behind something. Okay, I don't mind using craft felt when it's behind something, just as kind of like a faux batting, because I do like that quilted kind of feel when I'm stitching. But if I'm going to do something that shows on the front, I like using wool felt, and I love the colors. We have so many beautiful colors and just all the things. You can check that out. So what I'm going to do on these is, if this makes it easier for you, I'm going to basically just kind of draw somewhat of a circle. I don't always draw these. I usually just cut them. I kind of cut, again, great for scraps. I kind of cut. So I'm essentially just cutting away the corners so that it's circular-ish. Again, not a perfect circle, okay? It's going to look better if it's not perfect. And I know that's hard for some of you. I know that's hard for some of you, but it is going to look better. So basically just kind of cutting away the corners and making something that is circular-ish. Circular-ish. Okay, you can do it. You can do it. I promise. Not really like a tater tot. A tater tot is more like just kind of a rounded square. Circular-ish, right? Circular-ish. I would say again, these kind of depend on the size of your flowers. I have my ruler here somewhere. Let me grab my little, here it is. So for these, I would want these to be, I'm going to say anywhere from 2 to 2.5 inches. Okay, it's okay if they're a little bit bigger than that. This one's a little bit bigger than 2.5 inches. This one is a little smaller this way, but 2.5 inches this way. Okay, so just kind of, again, kind of ish. Look at those, look at them. They're not perfect. They're not perfect. Yes, let that ish relieve your stress, right? Let that ish relieve your stress. So the next thing I'm going to do, think of this like a pie. All right, we're going to take out a slice of the pie. So just take out a triangle. We're taking out a slice of the pie. It kind of looks like Pac-Man, right? Anybody play Pac-Man? Yeah, Pac-Man is good. Okay, looks kind of like Pac-Man, or think of it as taking out a slice of the pie. It doesn't really matter where you do it. Just kind of bring your scissors to the center, close to the center. So your pie slices might look a little different, but we need it to go to the center of our circle. All right. So you can see all of these pie slices are going to look a little different because the circles are different. But we're trying to get down to the center. This one I could even take a little bit deeper. Okay. So, yep, now we have these little Pac-Man looking things. Okay. All right. Yeah, this is, these are stitched. So you can kind of see there's a little, just a running stitch around the petals. We trace that out. So if you came on late, don't worry, you'll be able to watch the replay. and you can go in and see exactly how I did that. Okay. All right, let's do one. I'm ready. Here we go. Let's do this blue one. We're going to do all of them. Okay. So when you first get started on these, I want you to go to one end. All right. Doesn't really matter to me which side. That's up to you. Doesn't matter. We're going to go to one end here. And if you can, if your branch is thin enough, and if it's not, we can kind of just break it off or cut it. I have some scissors right here. Okay. All right. We're going to go to one end of our flower, and I'm going to bring this inside of this these in between the two pieces of fabric. If I can work that out in here. All right, there we go. Okay, so I'm just putting this inside. You can just kind of push because it's gathered, you can kind of push the thread down a little bit, and I'm putting it inside of the petal. Okay, do you see that? It's in between the two pieces of fabric, so it's inside the petal. This is going to be the center of our flower. All right, can everybody see that? Okay, it's actually inside. Let me go ahead and let's bring the camera again. Let's bring the camera down. So I've just kind of gone inside between the layers of fabric on one of my scallops here. Okay, now it's going to be helpful if it stays. So I'm going to squeeze in a little bit of hot glue in here, kind of towards the base, and just kind of pinch that around. Okay, we want the stick to stay inside. We don't want it to come out. Okay, so it's inside. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of just a line of hot glue right here. Not at the top of the petal, just kind of like right here where my stick is. And I'm going to wrap this once nice and tight. Okay, so now it's not only is it inside and glued, now I've rolled it over. So it's kind of rolled over to half of that petal. All right. Thank you for sprinkling. I appreciate you guys doing that. Yes, if you'll sprinkle this out to your Facebook pages, that would be fabulous. Thank you so much. All right, so now we're good to go. So now that this is in here, I'm going to start kind of winding, and I like doing this with the stick portion. So let me just kind of hold it. I am not doing this tightly. Okay, I'm not doing this tightly. I'm just kind of wrapping, coiling around. Now, when you get to about like this, I'm going to come down a little bit. Okay, I'm going to come down a little bit. And if it gets too far down, I'm going to be like, nope, I'm going to start over again. Okay, we're not going to actually add some more glue until we get a better idea of how we want this to look. So this first, let's say I'm going to actually even count this. There's 1, 2, 3. All right, when I've rolled 3 times, I'm going to put down some glue. Okay, when I've rolled 3 times, I'm going to put down some glue. Just kind of hold it for a second. Got it? Okay, now this next one, the next part of my roll, I'm going to come down a little bit on my stem. All right, just down, just one little, I don't know, just right where I'm touching the wood of the stem again. Okay, and now this one's going to stay in place. So there's one all the way. Okay. If it starts to slide down, just kind of slide it back up. And that's exactly what we're going to do before we glue it. Okay, so before I glue it, I'm going to push. All right, I'm going to kind of push. So just make sure that I am nice and snug. Now we'll add some more glue in here. and hold it down. Now don't worry about all these strings right here. You know, some of that glue might ooze out a little bit, and that's okay. Okay. Let me make sure my top didn't come out. I think it did just a little bit. Okay, there we go. All right. Okay, are we good? Okay. Before we unfold everything, I'm going to go ahead and do my little Pac-Man. Okay. Now I want to look at this because this might be a little big for this flower. Okay, so I'm going to bring, this is a little bit big, so I'm going to bring this down. First thing first, let's do this. I'm going to put a line kind of right here. Don't worry, we're going to do this on the other flowers too, so you'll get to watch it. So I want this about halfway, half on the flower and half on the stick or the stem. Okay, half on the flower, half on the stick, and on the stem. Okay, now then I'm going to bring this around. So I'll put my glue kind of here in a V. Okay, my glue is there kind of like in a V. And I'm going to bring this up and let it grab the flower. Okay. Now I'm going to do another V here. Same thing. I'm going to wrap this around. See how it's going to go? Just kind of around like that. So now this kind of gives us a nice little, covers up all that mess. Right? Covers up all that mess. And now we're going to start pulling down our flower petals. And again, remember, you can make these in all different sizes, different shapes. Now, this particular one, this is just so that I can show you, okay? And I think I'm going to actually glue this down. This particular one I went too far down on, okay? But is it still a pretty flower? Yes. It's still to me, it's still a pretty flower. Do all of these have to go down? No. And I can tell that my my little stick kind of pulled out here. So if your first one winds up looking like this, I'm trying to hold it. There we go. It's okay. All right. They're going to be like little mini blossoms. If this was longer, we'd have a bigger flower. Do you have to pull all of these down? No. I like pulling down some of them, especially the ones that are closest to the green part. We're going to get a really pretty flower. Okay. Yes, you can add leaves. Yes, you can add leaves and all the things. Now, I'm a little not liking this part right here. Okay. So to fix that, I'm going to come in and put just a little bit of hot glue kind of deep in here. Do you see that little blob of hot glue? And I'm going to fold this part in just a little bit. There we go. Okay, because it's a smaller blossom. It's a smaller flower. All right? Isn't it cute? So even if you're thinking, oh, I think I messed this up. Oh, I brought it too far down. Whatever the case is, these are going to be so cute. And remember, we're doing a bouquet. So you're going to have several of them in different spots. Okay, like you'll have several flowers just all bunched together. They're going to look so cute. And then if you do want to add in some leaves on your sticks, that's something easy you can do with your felt. You could stitch them or just cut them into leaf shapes and put them on. Okay. All right, let's do another one. Let's do another one. Let me grab another stick here. And like I said, I'm doing several of these. My plan is to do several of these. I'm going to cut the end of my stick at kind of a slant. You could use skewers. If you use skewers, they're all going to be tall and straight. I kind of like using like these natural branches have some curve to them. Also, if you're using floral wire or something else, they're bendable, right? So then you can bend them. So again, I'm going to separate my fabric here on this petal, and I'm going to stick my stick. I'm sticking my stick inside. Let's put in some hot glue. I'm going to put in more hot glue this time. Oh, I need some more hot glue. Let me get another glue stick here. I am using a glue gun that has a precision tip on it, which I love, and I will never go back to my other glue guns again. So that's nice. I can really control that. So I'm putting in more glue this time. Excuse me. So that I know it's not going to come undone. All things we learn as we practice, right? So my stick is in there. Again, let's kind of bring this in. I'm pushing it in there a little bit more this time. And I'm going to go ahead this time and just totally wrap this center. Since these are a little bit smaller flowers, this one scallop is going to get wrapped to be my center. There we go. Now I won't have to go back in and add that little bit of glue. So one whole scallop is going to be the center of my flower. Okay. All right. I know they're so fun. You guys are going to love it. All right. So again, I'm going to start kind of wrapping loosely. 1, 2, 3. Loose. Don't pull it too tight. We'll add some glue in here to secure our fabric. Perfect. All right, so it's secured. Now I'm going to come down just slightly to where I'm touching the stick again. All right, and I'm going to add some more glue here. And then just kind of hold it while it sets up. Yes, you'll have glue hairs. I'll zap them with my heat gun in a little bit and get rid of those. Okay. Now I have made some really big flowers in this way. And like I said, you just need a longer piece of fabric, a thicker piece of fabric if you want to go bigger. Okay. If you want to go smaller, what do? You do just the opposite. All right. So let's put our, actually I like doing it here. I'm going to put my line of glue right there. And again, part on the leaf, part on the fabric and part on the stem. Okay. Some little bit touching the fabric. We want to cover up all this, right? We're covering all that up. And now I'm going to come in and do a V. It doesn't matter which direction you go. So there's a little V with my hot glue. And I'm going to pick it up and wrap it around. This one doesn't go all the way around, so I'll just let it grab right there. Another V. And wrap it around. It doesn't have to be super tight or snug. It is glued onto the stick and it's glued onto itself, but it's there to cover up the ends, all the end parts. Okay. So here we go again. I'm going to start kind of pulling down some of these petals. I think it's better to start a little with kind of the smaller ones, get the feel for it, and then you can start making bigger ones. And again, it's really just kind of up to you. How much do you want to have kind of going down? Some of them can be going up. Sometimes I like to just do the end portions. So cute. All right, can you see our flower? It's almost like a bud that's just started to unfold. right? Like a little bud, a little bloom that's just starting to unfold. Okay, so the bigger you go, the bigger the flower. It's going to look like, these will look like little buds that are blooming. And then you'll have other ones that will look like, you know, full blown roses. Isn't it cute? And again, just to kind of show you the bottom, yes, you can come back in and add leaves. And if you want to leave, I just like some of them pointing up, some of them coming down. I'm just kind of showing you what the bottom part looks like. Then as we start to add them together, do you see what we're getting? Yes, we're going to have a cute little bouquet. Yes. So my next ones, I think I'll make some that are bigger. Let's do one more. All right. We'll do one more here. And then I think you'll have seen it enough to be able to make these yourself. I'll keep making them. Like I said, I'm going to make them with all my scrap fabrics from my last spring fabric bundle that we shared in the Fabric Fan Club. And I would really love, oh, I just messed up, didn't I forgot I was going to put it on the inside. Okay. Let's see if I can get it in here. Yeah, I put my hot glue down first. See, I get excited. I get ahead of myself. Okay, there we go. All right, let's get that glue down. Get some glue inside. It doesn't have to go all the way up to the tip of the petal. It's really up to you. So let me get that part glued and then we'll wrap this. And again, just want to invite all of you to come and join me for my intro to freestyle stitching workshop series. It'll give you a good taste of some of the things we do, the things we love to do, that we do in the Fabric Fan Club, but also just a great introduction into freestyle stitching, working with fabric and thread. This is going to be our first project, is this cute notepad sleeve. It's like a little cover for a notepad. These just slide in and out so you can use them. I love doing functional things. We love to do book covers in the group. That's our first project. We do all kinds of things. So it'll be a great chance for you to come and just give doodling with thread and freestyle stitching a try. All right, so I'm gonna just kind of go around this. This will be my center for this particular one. This is my longest one. They're all about the same size petals, but this is the longest one. All right, so that is stuck now. So again, 1, 2, 3. Let's put down a little bit of glue. All right, and then I'm just going down just a hair, just a little bit on this one. I think I'm going to keep this one mainly up. I'm going to keep this one mainly up since it's my largest one. So instead of going downward, if you go downward after that third wrap, you get that bud kind of look. This is going to give us a little bit more of an opener, a more open flower look. All right. And this is my biggest circle. This one might be a little big. Let's trim this one down. So that's something else you can do if you need to. We need to trim your little Pac-Man down. All right, so again, part on the flower, part on the stick. A V. Wrap that up. And another V. There we go. Cute, cute, cute. And that way all that messy stuff gets covered up. Okay. And again, I'm going to start. I've got some threads there I need to get rid of. You can start kind of pulling down your flower centers. Oh, look how pretty that is. Isn't that pretty? Do you see what I mean? So this was the longer one. So the longer piece, you're going to have more petals. It's going to look more like an open flower. So the longer you go, the wider you go, you just get a different look, right? You get kind of a different look, a more full look than our little buds that were just starting to bloom. Yeah. Sorry, my stick is kind of long. There we go. Let me raise up my camera so I can hold it up. Isn't that pretty? So I can come in, I can kind of start folding, leave some of them up, fold some of them down. And then we've got these, our little smaller ones that we can bring in together. And so this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be making these with the sticks as their stems. And then I'm going to be filling up my pretty aqua mason jar here. Let me get these other sticks out of here. Right? And I'm going to make myself a cute floral bouquet. So these sticks will just be going down inside of my aqua ball jar here. Yes, I can put some ribbon. I could put a fabric ribbon around my jar if I want to. Yes, you can add leaves if you want to. I don't have a lot of green felt with me, but I'll just kind of hold one up here. So yeah, you can add little leaves. I mean, whatever else you want to add to your floral stems, but they're so pretty. So this is going to give you an idea of the 12, 13, and 14 inch. You go bigger, you go longer, you can go wider. Maybe you want to do a taller scallop. Your flowers will get bigger. Okay. Yes. So we kind of have a 12, a 13, and this is the 14. All right. Yeah. What do you guys think about that? Are you excited to make some stitched? They're so cute because they have the stitched edge. And I know it might be hard to see because I used white, but do you see my white stitching on the edges of all the flowers on the scallops? It's just a really pretty look. Okay, really, really pretty look. Let's look over here at this one. Oh, it's getting a little blurry. I may be getting in too close. But I think it's just a really fun, gorgeous look. And I will just continue to add them into my jar here. Yeah, if you have a smaller jar or even just a little bud vase, you could put them in a bud vase. Really cute and pretty. Okay. Yeah. So are you guys excited to try these out and make them? I hope that you are. You could blend in other flowers as well, especially those of you in my fabric fan club. We've been making flowers this spring. So yeah, these could be in combination with some of the other flowers that you've learned. Yes, cute Mother's Day gift. Absolutely. Flowers that won't wither, that don't have to be watered, that will stay pretty forever. All right. Are they cute? Let me hold them up again, kind of close for you, just so you can see the difference. I just think they're so much fun to make. So I'm excited for you guys to give these a try. Thank you for watching Craft and Chat today. And again, if you're interested in joining me for my intro to freestyle stitching, hand stitching workshop, we've started signups. Our first project is going to be this one. The little fabric sleeve notebook cover. Got a little pocket. You're going to learn some great intro techniques working with this beautiful Shine Bright fabric bundle that I put together for us. And we're going to have a great time. This will be a great opportunity for you just to try this out, see if it's a good fit for you, see if you fall in love with it like myself and all of my other Fabric Fan Club members have. You've already signed up. Awesome. That's awesome, Patty. Yes, I cannot wait. Yes, that project is going to start on May 16th. And especially if you want the kit with all the project supplies, there will be enough project supplies in the kit to make all 3 projects. But you can pick and choose, so you don't have to make all 3 if you'd rather just make 1 to start. Okay. Yeah. The notepad covers the first one. It's a 2-part workshop. The first part 1 will be on May 16th, which is Friday. It'll be a Friday evening. The second part will be on Friday, May 30th in the evening. And yeah, replays will be available, so you can actually watch them whenever it's convenient for you. Okay. Nope. If you're already a Fabric Fan Club member, don't sign up, because you're going to get those workshops as a bonus for being a member. They'll already be in the group for you. Okay. Yeah, if you want to make a second set for someone, Karna, probably. I'll have to look and see how much fabric we had left, but it probably, yeah. All right. Thank you so much, you guys. I really appreciate you watching today. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I hope it's nice weather where you are. Get outside. Let's enjoy nature. Maybe look for some twigs and sticks for the stems for your beautiful stitched. All right. I'll hold this one back up here for your stitched rag roses. Okay. All right. Thanks, everybody. See you soon. Yeah, I'll be traveling back home to Texas on Sunday. Bye, everybody. Yes, happy Mother's Day to you too. Happy Mother's Day to everyone. Bye, y'all.